Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a war mode solo tier list. This is something I got asked in the comment section in my other video, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a war mode tier list. And just a few quick disclaimers before we start in this. I'm not going to include tank and healers because they're strong in world PvP as it is. Healers are just, they never die and they can definitely fight back. Tanks are pretty strong, so I just decided not to include them. So, but if you want to play a healer or tank, by all means, they're very strong in world PvP. I'm just not going to go ahead and include this. So that's why I am doing DPS only. Second is that war mode is generally not fair. So that you can grab buffs and do good no matter the class. Like buffs make a huge difference in war mode PvP. I know Soulscape uses a lot of them, and he makes a lot of different classes work, even specs that are not even that great in 1v1s. So it's really hard to judge a war mode tier list because of those reasons. So, but I'm gonna try my best. And yeah, so let's go ahead and dive right into the first one, which is Frosty Cat. I actually think they're in. I would put them in B or A tier. You could probably make a case for A tier because in war mode, unlike other content, you could kill trash mobs nearby and get a bigger death strike heal from that. But I'm putting them in B tier because I feel like a lot of the classes that are going to be better than Frost DK have disarm, which is a huge weakness for Death Knight in general. And their survivability is kind of like meh, unless, like I said, you kill trash mobs nearby. If their tuning wasn't really that bad, which I know they can always change tuning in the future, but Frost DK seems to always be bad, and Blizzard picks on them, so I'm putting them in B tier for that reason. You can make a case for them to be A tier. Let me know in the comment section down below which you would put them in, but that's about where I would put them, is either B or A tier. I'm going to stick with B tier because I feel like after having played my Frost DK and facing a lot of them in Frost DK, a lot of different Frost DKs, they just are B tier in my opinion. They're just not as spectacular at the moment, and that's where I would put them. Unholy, I think, is a little bit better than Frost. It's so I would probably put them in A tier. I know it's kind of like hypocritical of what I just said for Frost DK. It's just that I think Frost DK is just a lot weaker tuning wise at the moment. Unholy DK, in my opinion, feels more tankier, and they're more or less the same toolkit as Frost DK. So I think the only difference to me is that Unholy feels a little bit more tankier, and that's why I'm putting them in A tier. And like I said before, you could argue put Frost DK in A tier if you really want to, but Unholy and Frost DK are more or less kind of the same thing. So, and I feel like Unholy is a little bit more tankier, and that's the reason why I'm putting it in A tier. Havoc Demon Hunter is in S tier. I know in my other tier list I put Havoc Demon Hunter pretty low, but the one difference in with Havoc Demon Hunter comparing it to like Battlegrounds, which is what I was basing on my other tier list in, is the fact that Havoc Demon Hunter can also heal off mobs, and they have a really insane mobility. So you're getting low, run away, pull a trash mob, kill it, get some health back. I've seen a lot of YouTubers do this. I've done it myself, do this tons of times, and that's what makes Demon Hunters so good. It's just getting those heals off trash mobs because their survivability has drastically changed this expansion. So having that heal resource from mobs is pretty huge. So plus, they could do some pretty crazy stuff with their mobility and world PvP, so that's why I'm putting them there. Up next is Boomkin. Boomkin is not that great in 1v1s, like, at all. They're very squishy this expansion because their survivability has drastically changed this expansion. I don't think they're particularly that amazing. You can obviously, like I said, go grab some war mode buffs and do just absolutely nuke everything you want to. Of course, I know Soulscape's made videos on it. But putting it realistically, comparing it to like other classes out there, like Demon Hunter, for example, it's just you'll have a lot harder time. So, um, obviously being a night elf and shadow melding and getting away with flight form is really nice as well. I guess if you really want, you can also make a case for this in A tier. But as somebody who loves Boomkin and plays it probably the most, I would put them in B tier. They're just there's so many classes out there that could do way better than them. And that's my reasoning for putting them in B tier. Feral Druid, S tier, one of the strongest 1v1 specs in the game, and even this expansion with Feral being as powerful as it is at the moment, you can do even 1vx's. I've done tons of them. So I would put Feral and Druid in S tier. Their healing is strong, their defenses are strong at the moment. They're actually a lot more tanky than they were in Dragonflight for once. Being a Night Elf really helps to get away when necessary because you can shut them on flight or fly away, similar to like Boomkin. And yeah, that's my reasoning for putting them in S tier. Up next is Devastation Evoker. I would put this in A tier. I personally think they're strong. Some people I know told me that they're not that good in 1v1s, but I don't think they're that bad. I still think they're very scary in the right hands. They hit very hard. I mean, they're not tanky, they're kind of squishy, but they have the mobility to get away when necessary. Not to mention, if they deep breath, they can reset their hover twice. They'll have like 4 hovers. Their self healing is actually not that bad. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much my reasoning. Also, they have the ability to dispel bleeds, which helps against Feral and Assassin Rogue as well. So yeah, they have a lot of decent stuff to help them in war mode world PvP. So that's the reason why I'm putting them in A tier. I don't think they deserve S tier just because they're obviously not the best 1v1 class in the game, but they're still pretty strong and very scary. And the right hands, I've seen a lot of them, and I had a lot of fun on my Devastation Invoker and War mode. Especially, it's really fun to AoE cleave a ton of people at once, and that's also another fun thing that I love about Devastation. So, Beast Mastery Hunter is pretty good in 1v1s. I would recommend playing Beast Mastery if you're just often wanting to do your own thing and just do 1v1s. They're very strong in World PvP because of those reasons. Kind of similar to Feral and Havoc Demon Hunter. They're just, except for Havoc Demon Hunter who can heal off mobs, but Feral's really good in 1v1s. You could probably do some 1v2s as Beast Mastery as well. And that is the reason why I'm putting them in S tier. Survival Hunter can also be in S tier for the same reasons as Beastmaster. They're just really good in 1v1s. Also, I haven't tried this myself, but apparently Survival Hunters can use traps on dragon riding people in the air and make them die to fall damage. I haven't personally tried this, but I heard Survival can do it, and that sounds pretty hilarious to me, so yeah, I'm putting them in S tier because similar reasons to Beast Mastery. Good in 1v1s, 1v2s. And yeah, Marksman Hunter, if you've seen Soulscape's videos, he does some insane, crazy things with Marksman. And Marksman Hunter, in my opinion, is really good in War Mode PvP. You can go on these cliffs and just use sniper shot and snipe people from afar. You can, you know, drop down and glide when you need to. There's so many different tricks you could do with Marksman. And if you want proof to how strong Marksman Hunter really is in War Mode, I highly recommend watching Soulscape's videos. And that's pretty much the main reason why I'm putting it in S tier. I played a lot of Marksman Hunter in War Mode myself, and there's just you you pretty much can just free cast wherever you want to. Like a lot of the time when you need to get like even sparks and people are just AoE cleaving people down, you can even just snipe people that way. A lot of the time people won't even bother you. So yeah, Marksman Hunter is definitely pretty strong in War Mode, and why I'm putting it in A tier. Up next is Arcane. You could probably put this in S tier if you really want to, but I would probably put it. I'm putting it in A tier. Arcane's really good with mobility. They're really good at kiting people, so you can kite melee endlessly. So you might have a harder time versus casters, which is probably the reason why I'm putting it in A tier. But I would say Arcane is very, very good in War Mode. If you're looking, it's kind of similar to like Devastation. I would say because Devastation is really good against melee and not really good against casters, and I would put Arcane as the same category. You'll have a little bit of a rougher time versus casters, but you'll make melee hate their lives. So, and they're very good at melee 1v1. So, and they have really insane mobility as well. So that's the reason why I'm putting Arcane in A tier. Fire Mage, I particularly don't think Fire Mage is that amazing. I think it's better than Boomkin, probably, and at least in 1v1s. but I don't think they're as good as Arcane or Frost, and that's the reason why I'm putting it in the B tier. I think Arcane is better than Fire and War mode. I've faced all three mage specs all the time, and I don't really have much of an issues have much issues with Fire Mage. Some people might disagree with me on this one. That's perfectly fine, but I think Arcane is more annoying to deal with than Fire Mage is. You might have an easier time killing casters as Fire Mage because a lot of your spells will be a lot more instant compared to Arcane. But that's probably about the main difference, I would say. But yeah, that's where I'm just putting Fire Mage because I think it's a lot harder to kite around as Fire Mage. I know there's a talent that gives them a slow, but yeah, I just think it's a lot more harder to deal with in Arcane and Frost Mage than Fire Mage. So, and speaking of Frost Mage, I am putting this at S tier. Frost Mage has been insane this expansion. I think out of most specs in this game, Frost Mage could probably do a lot of like 1vx's. Their damage is ridiculous. Their infinite slows is equally annoying. They have Cold Snap on double Ice Block. Um, you know, Ice Wall can help out sometimes. I know the other specs of Ice Wall too. They're just Frost Mages definitely just got everything at the moment. Double ice blocks, infinite slows, crazy damage at the moment. And that's the reason why I'm putting it in S tier at the moment. Windwalker has definitely been really good this expansion. I would highly recommend it for war mode as well. I've been really loving mine. Their survivability has definitely increased this expansion. I feel like I definitely don't need to run as often, or I don't really feel like I die as often. I think Windwalker can do a lot of 1vx's as well, which is why I'm putting it in S tier. They hit decently hard. There's, like I said, their survivability has increased. They got Fortifying Brew, Diffuse Magic. They got Touch of Karma. Their own self healing is not that bad. Transcendence when you need to get out of there, which is huge for War mode, and that's the reason why I'm putting it in S tier. Up next is Ret's Paladin. I would put them in A tier at the moment. They're a decent solo class. They hit pretty hard at the moment, and Forbidden's also recently got changed where if they use like Spell Warden, for example, they can use Bubble even with Forbidden's up. So that'll be pretty nice for World PvP. They can obviously self heal themselves. The only difference is that they're not a huge mobile class. I know they have Freedom and Steed, but you know if there's a class that could dispel it or spell steal it, like Mage can, they might have a rougher time and get kited pretty easy, but that's probably they're not really that bad, and I feel like Ret's better than Frost, Fire, and Boomkin for solo, so that's the reason why I'm putting it in A tier. Up next is Shatter Priest. This one's a hard one to put because a lot of people got mad at me for where I put it in my other tier list, so I'm not entirely sure where I want to put this. Like, I was actually surprised a lot of people got mad at me for the whole Shatter Priest where I put it. So I think I'll put it in A tier, and hopefully that's a good spot for you guys. I'm putting it in A tier because a lot of their spells are kind of like need a group, like Live Swap if you need to use it for somebody. You can't use it for that. I mean, there are some fun things you can do though with Shatter Priest, and that is like Mind Control. Mind Control is a really satisfying ability to use in War mode. They are tanky. The only downside is you don't have any mobility, but you are a little bit more tanky because of that, so it does help. Um, what else is there? I'd say that's probably about it. They do got a lot of utility though between having Fear and Silence and a stun, so it does help out. You could put this, I guess, on S tier if you really want to. So I'll leave it up to you guys if you want to put it on S tier or A tier or not. But just due to their playstyle at the moment, I put it on A tier because they have a lot of hard casting at the moment. It can still be a little bit frustrating for me. That's probably why I'm putting it on A tier. But yeah, I know some people got mad at me where I placed it last time, but this is just where I'm going to be placing it, and that's why I'm putting it there. All right, rogues. I think rogues still deserve S tier. Like it's similar to Feral Druid. All rogue specs are literally built for world PvP. The class is designed to make people rage, and it's if like I said, war mode's the definition of unfair, and rogues definitely fit in that description. There's so many things they can do in war mode. I mean, they can ambush people when they're not prepared and get free kills that way. Their damage is not bad. I know some people are saying sub sucks now, but you can just fix that by grabbing war mode buffs. So it's like I said, it's not really an issue. Their toolkit is just designed to just be really good in world PvP. Consistent stuns, big burst, with war mode buffs and all that. Vanishes when you need when you need to get away. It's just they're designed to be around that. I know some people said that uh, Rogue shouldn't be S tier for my last video, but in war mode, nothing is fair. You can abuse buffs and all that, so it makes up for it. And their toolkit's just too good. I know I wasn't going to base this tier list around world buffs, but I mean, let's be real. Rogue is similar to Earl. They're built for world PvP, especially Night Elf rogues. So that's why I'm putting them in the third category. All right, up next is Elemental Shaman. I'm not sure where I want to put this one either. If I had to pick, I would say either B or A tier. I think I'm gonna personally put them in B tier. I would probably put them higher than Fire and Boomkin. Actually, I'd probably put them even higher than Frost. Because their damage is actually pretty decent right now. I do, however, think that a lot of the time they are a little bit punching bags for milling, but I'm putting them higher than the other ones just because I feel like they have decent self healing compared to like Boomkin at least. Purge does help against other casters like Mage in general, and a few other things. Thunderstorm is really nice. I'm not really sure where I want to put Ellie. I don't really enjoy my Ellie because I feel like they're not as good in 1v1s, kind of similar to like Boomkin and stuff. And I feel like Shamans get kind of like are like the punching bag a lot of the time. So that's the reason why I'm putting them in B tier. For enhancement, I actually think they're stronger in open world. Their healing is pretty good compared to Ellie, and they don't have to like hard cast it. They can just insta cast it. Their damage is actually pretty decent at the moment. Um, and that's the reason why I'm putting. I feel like it's a lot easier to kind of like do stuff as melee in open world compared to like Ellie. So that's the reason why I'm putting it in A tier. Not really much else to say because I don't play my Shaman a lot, but these are just my experiences of facing Elemental and why I don't really play Shaman in general. It's just because it's just not my thing. So I'm putting it in A tier because of those reasons. Up next is Warlock. Right now, I play a lot of Affliction and Destro. I don't play Demo, but in World PvP, because I've been doing a lot of World PvP on my Warlock, I've been actually enjoying both Destro and Affliction. I don't think they're S tier, but I definitely think they're A tier. Because if you go to certain spots in war mode, you can set up your portals and just snipe people from there. You can even jump down and people will chase you, and you can just teleport up and just finish them off. It's very useful. I really, really uh like my Affliction and Destro lock in war mode at the moment. It's a lot of fun to do those kind of tricks. But if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you'll probably have a rougher time. But a lot since there's so many different cliffs and all that, you can take advantage of it and just snipe people from there. It's kind of similar to Marksman. Demology. Um, I'm debating whether to put this in S tier or A tier because Demo I feel like might have an easier time to 1v1 than Affliction or Destro does. Like I don't play Demo personally, but when you face Demo locks, they do have some pretty good CC. Like even if you CC the Demo lock, their Felgar can stun you and all that fun stuff. So it's kind of hard where to place this one. I think I'll put Demo in the same category as Affliction and Destro. It's kind of hard to know where to put them, so I'm just gonna put them there. Let me know if you agree or disagree on putting them in A tier instead of S tier, because I'm not sure where I would put them otherwise. Warrior is a hard one to judge on. Last time I did a tier list on Warrior, people said I should. Some people should make it A tier, and I definitely think deserve A tier for War mode because of one very important reason. It's similar to Death Knights and what was the other one? It's similar to Death Knight and Havoc Demon Hunter, where if you kill trash mobs, you will get a free victory rush and can heal off that. So, and I will say I do agree with the comment I saw in the last video where the defenses for Warrior have increased this expansion, where they're actually a lot more tankier even when solo. They're still obviously not the best solo class, but um, I do admit that their defenses are a little bit better this expansion. I mean, I even noticed it on my Warrior. I can, back in the past, I normally wouldn't play Warrior by myself because I didn't enjoy it by a lot solo, but I definitely feel like I can do it this expansion. So I'm putting them in A tier simply due to the fact that they have decent defenses this expansion. But the main reason is in War mode you can heal off any mob nearby and get some victory rushes from that. So, and it's definitely saved my life. I've done it quite a few times, and that's the reason why I'm putting them in A tier. Anyways, this is my tier list. Let me know what you guys think. Whether you agree or disagree. What classes you disagree with. What classes you agree with. This is my personal opinion after playing most of these specs. There are a few I don't play, for example, but I have faced a lot of them in war mode, and this is my general opinion on them. I'm sure there's going to be some people that disagree with my list, and that's perfectly fine. Just let me know in the comment section down below what you disagree with, and I will see you guys later. Peace.